Today's video will be a little different from the average video because this week was a little different from the average week for me. I did a lot of invasions at level 60 and 80, I think, doing goofy stuff with the reverse jump backstab, aka the hibachi backstab. And I did some other stuff with like pseudo combos on magic builds, you know, faith builds or intelligence builds. But I also did some strength invasions with my level 90 strength build. If you would like to see the stats for this build, you can go into the Elden Ring builds showcase playlist on this channel, and you can check out the build. It's level 90. The build is basically just get 40 strength, and then I think it was I think it's 50 vigor, and then like 26 endurance or something like that. And you know, obviously you can use the talismans to help you get there. But that's pretty much the build. It's just strength and endurance. And I've opted to go with heavy infusions on the weapons rather than fire, for the reason you're seeing. Too many of my invasions take place in water for me to be running fire damage on my weapons. The damage would be higher overall in terms of my attack rating, or whatever it's called in this game. I think it's attack rating. But you lose out on some of that damage if people are fighting in water, and I constantly am. And fortunately, there's no standing in anti-strength damage, so I just infuse my weapons heavy and cut the loss, and it works out fine. A lot of these weapons would be better with fire, but I mean, if you wanted to be like super efficient, I guess you could probably cold infuse them and still keep most of the strength scaling. That works better at higher level, honestly, I think, but the damage might fall off more, so I don't know. It might equal out. But that's why I go with heavy weapons over fire weapons. Just too many invasions take place in water. So, yeah, this was the build I haven't played with this build in a minute, and, you know, I love big, hunky boys with massive iron, you know, and they love to lift the iron, and they love to smash and pound. And that's what this build does. It's a big boy that smashes and pounds, and it's funny to me, and I love it. So I was kind of goofing off with this build when I wasn't doing all the magic stuff, and all the magic stuff and all the, you know, jump backstab stuff and all that other stuff will end up in different videos. So I thought, okay, well, I don't want to like I like for the videos, I know this is going to sound weird, I like for the videos to have a sort of coherent narrative. It's true. Maybe my commentary doesn't, but you know, the video itself does. It features one thing prominently that sort of ties it all together. You know, at least I hope that's the intention. But yeah, I love this build. The greatsword that I'm using right now, colossal sword, is the Watchdog greatsword, and you have to farm this thing from the mountaintop of giants. It's slightly worse than the greatsword, the greatsword of guts. It's slightly worse than that one, but it's also shorter, so it's got that going for it. But it does look cooler, and so that's all that really matters. I think this thing has better strength scaling at a certain point, but I'm not sure it ever matters because the Guts sword has such high base damage that it kind of always... Actually, I might have that opposite. I haven't checked. It might be that this has high base damage and the Guts sword has better scaling. It's true for one of them, but the point is that it always usually ends up being the Guts sword is the one to go with. Speaking of Guts and big boys with big swords and homoerotic tie-ins, tell me if you've ever heard this. A long time ago, where I come from at least, if someone was gay and no one wanted to say that they were gay, they would say they were, quote, a friend of Dorothy. Have you guys ever heard that expression? Nobody on my Twitch channel had heard that, and that kind of shocked me. Anyway, I'm going to start calling anime friends of guts. When I see something and I want to say that it's anime, I'm going to start saying that it's a friend of guts, because I think that's hilarious. Yeah. Anyway, the reason this week was not like other weeks was because I was playing some Street Fighter as well this week. Well, that's not too uncommon, Saint. It seems like you've been playing a lot of Street Fighter lately. I have been. Sort of dividing my attention up. Check out this combo. I tried this. I did it. I hit the first 2 hits of this combo, and I was like, oh snap, I could add a 3rd hit to that. And I tried it, and I missed. So then I went back, and in the next time I got an opportunity, I went for it. We're going to do a roundhouse kick that counts as being airborne, which means if we do the hurricane kick and we overdrive it, it's going to send us into the air. And then before our opponent can land, we buffer up our 3-meter super. Look at the combo. Look at the combo. So nice. So nice. And yeah, that was just in a little... I was streaming, and I opened up a custom room, and I just had people from the stream. We just had a big fight club. It was a lot of fun. So that's one thing I was doing this week. But that's not altogether uncommon. But what is altogether uncommon is a Final Fantasy game is coming out, and holy crap, I care about it. What? I played Final Fantasy X and I was like, all right, I think I'm over this. I think this isn't for me anymore. And then I came back and I played Final Fantasy XII, and I liked it, but it wasn't like a we're back moment. It was like a, oh, what could have been. Final Fantasy XVI demo came out, and I played that because I'm actually excited about Final Fantasy XVI. This demo is so good. It's so good. It's on the PlayStation Network. It's free. You can just download it if you have a PlayStation 5. The combat reminds me a lot of... I'm sure Devil May Cry, but I haven't played a Devil May Cry game in a billion years. Just like I haven't played a Final Fantasy game. Not a new one, anyway. Look at the Marlboro! They renamed it. Now it's... well, they retconned it. It's gone back to being a Marlboro instead of a Marlboro. But, you know, obviously, I'm sure whichever cigarette company would not be happy to see them represented like this. But, you know, it's what you get for killing millions of people. You know, this is what you are to us. Yeah, the combat, I'm sure Devil May Cry is where most people are going to go. But it reminds me a lot of Neo 2. I don't know if Neo 1, because I never played that one. But I played Neo 2. And a little later on in the game, in the demo, you have the ability to sort of like cycle between different summon monsters. They're called icons, and the icons give you different special moves, and you can cycle between which ones you want to have equipped. And when you do that, you unlock all these different moves, and now you're cycling between all these different moves, and now it kind of reminds me of Neo. It's got the perfect dodge mechanic. Your 2 basic attacks are hit with a sword and projectile, which is very Devil May Cry. And then you've got a dodge. There's also a parry, but a parry is just when you hit somebody right before they hit you. You see me teleporting all over the place? This is the Phoenix summon, or icon as it's called. They were also called icons in Final Fantasy IX. The icon blessing that I have is of the Phoenix. So that little wing attack there, that's a Phoenix thing. I can only do that. It has like a timer. After I use it, I have to wait a while. But the other thing is like the Phoenix shift, where you, boom, just teleport right where your opponent is. And it is so much fun. So you're playing with that, you're playing with the dodges, you're playing with the parries, you're playing with the combos, and you're playing with movesets at the same time. This is going to be so much fun. It already is. It already is so much fun. I love this. I love it. And the setting, like the world, the story, whatever, you know, immediately I was just like, oh my god. It's unlike anything Final Fantasy has really... It's like Final Fantasy Tactics, but it's not just cute pixels slitting each other's throats. It's like well-animated throat slitting, and it gives it like a way darker vibe. But I love it. There's also definitely like some callbacks to Vagrant Story in this, as well as Final Fantasy Tactics. And so yeah, I'm like right at home. This is so good. It's so much fun. I played the hell out of this demo. I think I played it like 3 times over the course of the week. I just love it. I just love it so much. Definitely looking forward to when it comes out later this week, I think. Or I guess next week, technically. Actually, by the time you watch this video, it's probably already out and I'm playing it. Yeah, I'm very excited for it. Also, I got to talk about the music, because I always use Final Fantasy, you know, music in my videos. The music in the 16 demo is so good. The big cinematic boss fight that I didn't post, that I didn't show, the music in that is incredible. But the fight that I did show with the giant goblin thing and the Morbowl, that music is phenomenal. But when you're in that little village walking around, the music is super chill. It's the same, it's very Hollow Knight. It's the same music, it's just a more chill version of that same music. And it's like, the moment I heard it, I was like, oh yes, I'm like right at home. This rules. So the music's also great. So it's got great music, really fun combat, and a cool setting. And so yeah, I'm just all in on a Final Fantasy game. And like, I don't want to hear anybody talking smack about Final Fantasy 16 if you are like a Kingdom Hearts enjoyer. You people have had the franchise for like the past decade. So more even. You've had it longer than that. It's my turn. It's my turn to have a Final Fantasy game. It's time for me and people like me to actually have a game. And I'm excited about it. So, I fought a lot of Manon over the weekend, apparently. During the week. I've started, I included this fight because I did really well. I need to work on that little combo I just did right there with the dash cancel. There's another hit that goes into that combo, and I'm just trying to get the muscle memory down. Before, you know, there's a difference between learning a big long string combo and learning a combo that you can actually pull off. Especially with a character like Ryu, who doesn't have like that type of rush down offense that like Kin or what's her name? Foot Girl. All you degenerates. Judy. Kin, Judy, some of those characters have like, you know, insane rush down potential. So like they can just go into a combo from out of nowhere. But Ryu kind of has to like, you know, earn his on the defensive end. In the way I play, I guess, at least. But anyway, Judy's been like an absolute nightmare for me. She's a character that a lot of people play very similarly. Marissa, as a counterexample. Everybody plays Marissa different. It's really interesting. But characters like Judy, Guile, and the girl with the sticks, everybody kind of plays them the same. It's just the same. Cammy kind of fits into this as well. But like Marissa, everybody plays kind of different. So what I've been doing is I've been like going into the training of Street Fighter and setting the AI to its highest difficulty and making myself fight Judy. And if I win, if I beat her at highest difficulty, I can lower her difficulty down. and then I can lower it down, and then I can keep going down. But if I ever lose, I have to knock the difficulty back up to max. And that's how I practice against her. It's decent practice, but there's a thing that real players do that the computer AI doesn't ever do. Saying, what the hell is happening on the screen? Oh, sometimes you can invade the fire giant. It just happens randomly. It's a glitch. You can't make it happen. But it happened. There it is. The Monolith and the Giant, Tag Team Champions of the World. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys real soon. Till next time. Later, y'all.